Pranayama for busy executives to reduce the time it takes to achieve goals. Pranayama I love because it works faster mentally, physically, and emotionally to get you in a better state to accomplish the things that you need. And it works in 15 minutes or less per day. Hi, my name is Leskew, and I'm the founder of the Eagle Institute. And I teach multiple meditation styles, and I have experience with multiple meditation and healing styles. And I love teaching pranayama because it works quickly. And this is really great for people that are just starting out, or that, maybe have some, health challenges or things like that, because it works really quickly. Now, what is pranayama? So pranayama is a sister science to yoga. Yoga, most people think of poses or asana. There's really 8 branches to yoga, and poses is just one of those 8 branches called asana. And pranayama is one of those 8 branches, and it is the one all about the breathing techniques. So if you've done an asana class or a yoga class, you may have done sitting breathing practice, but that's rare. And sometimes it is taught in the poses, and I mean beyond just, remember to breathe. This is actually techniques and drills to improve your breathing. So prana means both breath and life force, and yama means to direct. So learning to control your breath, you really learn to control your life force, and that's mental, physical, and emotional. And that's why I love teaching it, as well as the fact that it works so quickly compared to other meditation styles. People that do this find that they have more resiliency in life. They have emotional insight, emotional control. They let go of old patterns that are holding them back, maybe some that they didn't even realize about. And they start to develop that a deeper sense of self-awareness, and then they can direct that to make changes. It's also amazing for helping physical health, and that's a big concern today with a lot of people. With the busy lifestyles, the amount of pressure we're having, it tends to affect people's physical health. Changing your breathing and my other video on changing your posture can go a long way to calming the body down, which is a foundation for improving all other health. So I'm going to be honest. Almost all CEOs and executives, entrepreneurs are wasting their time every day, especially if you're working long hours. So we sort of wear this as a badge of honor that, I can work more than anybody else and blah, blah, blah. I'm so busy. I must be getting a lot done and doing really great things. Well, the science just doesn't bear that out. Science shows that people that are high performers actually work less than everybody else, and as a result of that, they think differently, or they think differently because they work less. They're using different parts of their brains, and as a result, they get different outcomes and different results, far better than people that are stressed and overworking. So what happens over time is that the body, mind, and emotions just get tired. So they take little breaks, or they can't find the really great answers, especially if stress activates the fight or flight syndrome in the body. And when fight or flight gets activated, what happens is the higher functioning parts of the brain, things like creative thinking and problem solving, and even interpersonal skills, communication, and even our logical thinking, the capacity for those things get reduced because the body's trying to stay alive, and it thinks it needs to deal with a physical threat, not do creative problem solving and thinking. If you're in the middle of a boardroom meeting, or you're in a difficult negotiation with supplier, contractor, maybe even another employee, or you're just trying to get through a bunch of paperwork on your desk, wouldn't you want to be in your best? Well, pranayama does that, and it does that quickly. Pranayama works so quickly because the nervous system is so closely tied to breathing. And our breathing affects every single system in our body. So think about it. If you have low oxygen, say your building doesn't have really good oxygen, you start to feel tired and lethargic, and then you'll probably go for some foods that are maybe overly carb, and that's going to make you more tired. But if you have enough oxygen in your body, you feel energized. So that's one of the first things. The other thing that deep breathing does is it really relaxes the nervous system, and that's why it's used in things like visualization and creative thinking. We use the breath as an access point to access those higher thinking parts of the brain. And people that have practiced these techniques with pranayama in doing them correctly, and I want to emphasize that because you can do them wrong and it doesn't do you any good. When you do them correctly, then within 3 months, people see substantial differences, and most of the time their work time goes down 50% or more. The average is 50% reduction in work hours if they practice these techniques correctly for 3 months. So that's a pretty good payback, I would say, 15 minutes for 4 hours a day. So I've done the following technique, and this is to show you the power of this. So I've done this technique now with hundreds of people over the past few years in workshops and seminars, and the results have been very consistent. So first of all, I want you to take out, I want you to write down your emotional set point. So let's look at that first. So here's a mental emotional stress scale. And the 10 out of 10 means you're stressed 100% of the time, mentally, physically, or emotionally, or all three over the past month. A 5 would be 50%, and a 1 would be 0% of the time, mentally, physically, emotionally, over the past month. So if you were at 65%, you could put yourself 6 or 7, or if you're really precise, 6.5. So just write that down. And next, I'd like you to, if you have something to write on, or maybe just think about it, or go back and write this down later, describe a problem or an issue that you don't have an answer for right now. And you don't have an answer that's going to give you a good outcome that you want, or you're just not sure how to move forward on it. And write that down. And you can write down any little insights you have about it. So if you don't have time to finish this, you can come back and watch this video after. So what I want you to do right now is we're going to do a little breathing technique. So first of all, come sitting straight with good posture. So your shoulders should be over your hips. Your spine straight and aligned, your neck in line, your feet flat on the floor if you're sitting in a chair, your feet and knees at 90 degrees, and your hips at 90 degrees to your upper body. Now, I have another video just on that, which tremendously changes your mental and emotional state. So I will link that in the description for this, or you can go on the YouTube channel, The Eagle Institute, and find that one. It should look the same kind of thumbnail as this one. So what we're going to do now is count the number of breaths that we have for 3 minutes. So what you're going to do is, sorry, I'm just looking at it to make sure the timer is going to go right. You're going to inhale and exhale is 1 count. Now if you breathe slowly, you can count both on your inhale and exhale, same number. If you breathe really quickly, just pick 1 point throughout that to track your counts. And let's begin. We're going to start. So in your next inhale breath, start counting 1. Excellent work continuing to count. Good job. Keep it going. Continuing counting. You're in the home stretch now. Continue counting. Excellent. And at the end of your next exhalation breath, return your focus back to the room. Stop counting. So there is another video. If you want to evaluate how your counts are, you can go take a look at that one. And now I'd like you to write down your emotional state. So 10 feeling terrible and 1 being amazing. What's your emotional state? So, and then before you do anything else, go back and go to that problem and think of any new information, any new insights you may have on it. And you can come back and watch this video and finish this later, just to keep it moving on the video. I'm just going to move forward. So people that do this, I typically do the breathing technique twice with people. And usually within the first time we do it, minimum 40% of the room will have a new insight on it. And usually at the end of 2 rounds, 80% of the room has something that's very significant that that's a possible solution or a way to move forward. And sometimes just amazing, even other creative ideas come forward. That's only 6 minutes. So if you're struggling with these problems all day, if we didn't even really do any technique on how to breathe properly, it's just that you stopped and took some breathing breaks. Now imagine what you would do if you actually learned how to correct some of the imbalances in your breathing to make it really healthy and spent time working on that every day, the amount of insight and the emotional well-being that you'd be experiencing more and more on a regular basis. So typically people that do these techniques regularly and correctly for 3 months significantly reduce the amount of time they work. The average is 50%. So people that work 12 hours a day get the same amount of outcomes in 8 hours a day. Very often they end up doing new things and not just get what they used to get done, but better. So that's where the innovation comes in, and where those top 10% people, why they get things done in less time and better than everybody else, because they're not even doing the same things. They're taking different approaches to the same task. And when you control and improve the mental, emotional, and physical state, you have a much higher chance of getting to that. So imagine what you could do with this if you just started to practice correctly with progressive techniques that improved your breathing and improved the level of difficulty, just like you would with any other types of training. So that's what we do. So if you want to learn more about this, go to theeagleinstitute.com. We offer programs from complete beginners, someone who's never done this before, maybe even experiencing health or mental, emotional challenges, right through to postgraduate programs for people that are either healers or yoga teachers, or that have some other type of training around meditation. So this is the second video in a series on this, so make sure you check out the other videos in this series. If you want help with this, or even if you want to have a call with us, you can connect with us on our website at theeagleinstitute.com. And finally, before I sign off, I'd be really curious to know what your numbers were. So if you want to put them in the comments below. Also, if you had insights to problem solving, if you put those in the comments below, that'd be fabulous. And if you have any questions you want to see future videos on, put those in the comments as well. Have a beautiful day, everybody.